Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Cool Wall. Now, for the first car today will be the Ford GT40. Now, this car is one of the most beautiful cars ever made and is one of the greatest cars ever made. It is my opinion that is a fact. I mean, I don't think people understand just what this car did, okay? Because Ferrari at Le Mans at the time was like Apple in the smartphone world. And what this did, well, no smartphone has done it. Imagine if Samsung made a phone that defeated the iPhone and was so revolutionary and so just socially impactful. I mean, they would love to, but they won't. But Ford did, and that's what this car did, because it blew Ferrari out of the water. And I mean, it blew Ferrari out of the water. I mean, they came 1, 2, 3 at Le Mans. That's like if Samsung made a phone that has a better battery, better OS, and was more stylish. But this car is brown, so it is uncool. Moving swiftly along, we have our next car. The Aston Martin Vulcan. There is no denying that this is a beautiful car. But, if you lift up its skirt, it's quite embarrassing. And the problem is, now let's just say you buy this car, okay? Imagine you get lucky, you won the lottery and you bought this, okay? And you move to Germany. And you decide to take this to the Nuremberg, you know, the toughest racetrack in the world, just to see what it can do. And you post a blistering lap record. But then, someone shows up in their McLaren Senna that they drove from home, proceeds to not just beat you by 1/10 of a second or 2/10 of a second, by 3 seconds. It's quite embarrassing. And then he proceeds to drive home while you still have to load your car into the truck. And the best part, Aston Martin said that this car was made with no rules, no bounds. It was just the best, the engineering they could do. Good job. Which is why this car is just embarrassing. Now, the final car for today will be the Koenigsegg Regera. And I know that this side doesn't match this side. Thank you, don't leave a comment. Now, this car is undeniably very beautiful, and I just love Koenigsegg. I don't know, I just love the underdog story of how they're making cars that are just mind-blowing, and they're just a small Swedish company. Like, man, it's an inspiration. But at the end of the day, it has the same problem as all hypercars. There's just not enough of them. It's sad. Well guys, that's the end of... Gotcha. It's not the end of today's video, because I've got a new segment. I think all YouTubers, when it comes to content, when in doubt, turn to Reddit for an out. So I am posting my thoughts on the cars on the Reddit of those cars, and I'm seeing what people say. Now for the McLaren SLR, one person said it was a great car, real special. I asked them how it made them feel, and they said this: if I was Manny Koshman, I would not let you in my garage. Now for the Ferrari XXK Evo, we had some very interesting thoughts. Now some people were critiquing my drawing skills, and as you can clearly see, I don't have any. But as for the car, one user said that it looked almost hellish and over the top. And I said that, yes, it might look a little hellish and over the top, but if everything on that is actually meant to be used to make it faster, to make it go faster, then I think it's not over the top and it's okay. And I also got some advice for my drawing, so thank you. One user pointed out that one problem about these cars is that this car is not for someone with $20 million, it's for someone with $500 million. Because someone with $500 million can afford to lose $1 million or $2 million or $3 million. Now, I thought this was a very interesting point, but I don't think people with $500 million are still driving these cars how we would drive our cars. Because the production run in those cars are so small, people wouldn't risk them because they can't buy another one. And the user that got me thinking about this also pointed out that I said that customers are not the only one to blame. What I mean by that is that we are to blame because we are all idiots when it comes to driving, and well, would you want to drive with an idiot in a $2 or $5 million car? I would. And also speed limits. Can you imagine getting pulled over in a Devo and I don't know, like them taking you away? Like they would be stuck with an Evo, bro. Like, can they legally do that? Now, the F12, I did not get any comments, but I got one upvote, so I think one person agrees with it. Or maybe that's just me. Now, as for my other thought on the looks of the F12, of how I think it's one of the last good-looking ones, somebody pointed out that it was the last Pininfarina designed Ferrari, which is sad. So the man at fault is Flavio Manzoni. How could you make such a unproportionate car? Now, one user said that the 599 is prettier than both. Now, the most fruitful conversation we had was about the Mustang, how I said there was too many of them. Now, one user pointed out that the SUV, no, but it's okay that there's EcoBoost. Now, the problem is the name EcoBoost. I mean, would you want to drive an EcoBoost sports car? Like, no. Another user pointed out that it was great by Ford because they got great exposure, both good and bad. So I replied, clickbait. And then we got into what the Mustang is actually should be. A sports car, a muscle car, or a pony car. And I think it can be all three. It just can't be an SUV. To me, the perfect selection would be a pony car with a low rumbling V8, a muscle car with a powerful V8, and a sports car with a twin turbo V6. And for him, it would be the sports car or muscle car would be the Shelby, which is the one that he would get. The GT model would be the sports car, and the EcoBoost and the 6-cylinder would be a pony car. And if you slot them with the right options, they could become sports cars. And I thought that was very interesting. He obviously knows more about Mustangs than me. This user agreed that calling a crossover EV a Mustang is wrong, and he was said how it was also similar to the Eclipse. And then I replied, remember the Signet? And he gave me shivers. And someone has disliked it. Now, I don't know if you remember what the Signet is, but one user also said that I had the best post they've ever seen on Reddit. And he got this like mixed reaction. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be continuing this or not, but it's an idea. Let's see where it goes. I like talking and I like learning about cars and what people think about cars. You know, it's good to know what the customer wants. So thank you guys for watching, and goodbye. But imagine if the Samsung, you post a blistering letter and